Good morning, mathematicians. Today is the day we're finally looking at multiplication. All right, our title, Multiplying Fractions and Whole Numbers. And when I talk about multiplying fractions and whole numbers, there's a cat walking through. Keep going, Winston. When we talk about it, let's just pick two fractions. Let's do half times 5. We're talking about either order. So it could be fraction times whole number or whole number times fraction. They are interchangeable. All right, let's look at our objective. I will multiply fractions and whole numbers. I will also look for patterns to understand the product of these problems. So it would be product. When we talk about product, we're talking about the answer to the problem. So depending on the order and the types of fractions that we're dealing with, you can actually predict what the outcome will be. So let's read it together. I will multiply fractions and whole numbers. I will also look for patterns to understand the product of these problems. All right, excellent. Now in 4th grade, you should have gotten this far. If you did not, this is a pretty easy concept to get. So in 4th grade, you would have gotten a fraction with a 1 as a numerator. This is called a unit fraction. Anytime the numerator is 1, it's a unit fraction. And this is going to be really important vocabulary. So a unit fraction times a whole number can be interpreted through addition. So the fraction I'm working with is 1/5. I want it to occur 3 times, so it could be 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And as we discovered last week, if we're adding up fractions of like denominators, the denominator stays, and we just add up our numerators, 1, 2, 3. So our answer of 1/5 times 3 is 3/5. Now, in the objective, we talked about patterns. You want to pay attention to the relationship between the whole number and the denominator. Notice in this case, the whole number is smaller than the denominator. When we end up with whole numbers that are larger than the denominator, or they're multiples of the denominator, that's where predicting comes in. All right, so this is your 4th grade example. Let's take a look at how we're going to tackle this in 5th grade. You should have understood that these were all fractions of 1/5. So for 5th grade, we're going to do this. Whenever you see a fraction and a whole number, the very first thing you're going to do for the whole number is, let me switch colors so you can imprint it in your brain. We put it over the number 1, because 3/1 is saying I have 1/1, 1/1, and 1/1. So I have 3 1/1s. Now that I have a fraction, I can just simply multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. And I am done. Just as a recap, we do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and we will end up with our product. So visually, easy to get. We can still use this strategy, but in 5th grade, when we get that whole number, let's just go ahead and put it over 1. We know we have 3 wholes, and we need to represent it as a fraction. All right, let's take a look at one where we can find a pattern. Now, this whole number is way bigger than the first sample. Now, what I want to look at is my denominator and the whole number. 20 is way bigger than 5, but it's also a multiple of 5. So something really interesting is going to happen here. So let's try it out the 5th grade way. We have a whole number. Let's go ahead and put it over 1. Numerator, 1 times 20 is 20. 5, 1 times is 5. This is a correct answer. This is not the final correct answer. what we need to do now is divide. So fractions are division. So we can rewrite this as 20 divided by 5. Remember when I said multiples? 20 and 5 have a special relationship. What is it? 20 divided by 5 is 4. So the answer to 1/5 times 20 is the number 4. So when we have a unit fraction and the denominator and whole number have a relationship, you might end up with a whole number as your answer. So 1/5 times 20 or 1/5 of 20. We can do this really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 20 dots. What I'm saying is 1/5 of 20. I'm breaking these into 5 pieces. So I'm going to have 4 equal parts. So I have 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. So 1/5 of 20 is 4. So one section is 4. All right, let's take a peek on the next page. Vocab. The word of means multiply. When we're looking at fractions and they use the term of, like 1/5 of 20, we're really asking you to multiply. And just a quick review, unit fraction. Units means 1, and this is anytime the numerator is 1. So when the numerator is 1, that is called a unit fraction. Let's look at a non-unit fraction. So for this example, we have 2/3 of 18. So remember that key of means to multiply. If we scroll down here, 2/3 of 18. Go ahead, let's put 18 over 1. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 8 is 16. So let's put our 20 plus 16 together. We get 36. 3 times 1, that one's easy. Then we move it as a division problem because we have a number over a number, which is dot over dot. Division, that's your clue. That's a division problem. Equals 36 divided by 3. These numbers have something in common. If you need to go the old route, go for it. You've got paper, you've got time. 3 goes into 3 one time. Bring down our 6. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Subtract, we have no remainder, so our answer is 12. So let's look. We have 2/3 times 18 is 12. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do a couple sample problems during our Zoom meeting today. I wish you best of luck. Have a great day multiplying.